Hello everyone, this is Crustlemania and welcome back to the 23rd week selling results video. This video, I'm going to be telling you about the 6 sales that I had this week. The sales are quite a bit down, and the holidays with New Year's happening, I didn't really expect too many sales because I really don't have that many cards on my eBay page right now. So I'm surprised that 6 sales were able to happen this week. But anyways, let's get straight into it. So first off, the first card is the Charizard V from Crown Zenith. I picked this one up from the Facebook Marketplace seller, and I got some brilliant stars Charizard Vs as well. This was the only Crown Zenith, and this one sold pretty fast. Pretty much right after the first Charizard V from Crown Zenith that I got from the LGS store. So this Charizard sold for about $4. After sales tax, transaction fees, and the shipping label fee came out to about $2.43. So not too bad. This is a interesting art for the Charizard V. I didn't realize that they had a similar art for this card in Brilliant Stars. It's like 1-for-1 the same, so I don't know if it's just a reprint, but it seems like this Charizard card is popular because Charizard is a popular Pokemon. So anyways, that is the first card that sold this week. The second card that sold this week was the Greninja Ex card that I was able to trade for at the card show. And this card was in near mint condition, so I sold a lightly played one in the past, but this one was in near mint condition, so I got the price that I originally wanted to get for the original lightly played card in the past because this card was near mint. So really nice that this card sold, and to be quite honest, the centering was actually pretty good on this card after looking at it now. But the seller also gave me some good feedback as they already got this card. So this card sold for about $7. After sales tax, transaction fees, and the shipping label fee, I made about $5.03 eBay net profit. So not too bad. This card is really nice, and as I mentioned, the centering is actually not too bad. It's a little bit thicker on the right side in terms of the edging, but you know, that's how it goes. I got the feedback from the seller and they were happy with this card, so glad this card went to a good home. So the next card that sold this week was actually one of the Radiant Eevees I picked up from the last card show, and this is now my third Radiant Eevee that I sold from Pokemon Go, which is quite interesting. I mean, I've sold the Japanese version of it too, so I guess you could technically say it's the fourth, but this is the third English one. And I still have 2 more English Radiant Eevees, but I'm slowly putting those listings out on eBay. But this one sold. I thought this one was going to sell a little bit sooner, but it took a little bit longer, maybe like 1 or 2 relistings before this card sold. So glad that this card sold, and this card sold pretty much for the price of $7 because it got bid up, I believe, from the original $6 that I put it at. And then after transaction fees and the shipping label fee, I made about a $5.08 eBay net profit. So pretty good for this card. I expected it to go for about $6, so surprised that there was a little mini bidding war for this card. So the next card that sold this week was the Pidgeot from Expeditions. So all of the vintage e-reader cards that I currently have or had, they've all been sold at this point, and this week was the week to sell all the e-reader cards. So the first one here is the Pidgeot. Out of all the e-reader cards, I actually thought this one was the coolest just because it had the coolest look for Pidgeot flying down. Honestly, if I were to keep any of the e-reader cards, I probably would have kept this Pidgeot, but you know, it's part of the game, and you know, this card is going to a good home. But I can say I partially owned an e-reader card, so that is really cool to that effect. So basically, this card sold for about $7.50, and after sales tax, transaction fees, and the shipping label fee, I made about eBay net profit of about $5.44, so not too bad. I'm just glad that the Pidgeot is going to a good home, and honestly, I thought the e-reader cards were going to sell a lot sooner because I figured this is a very popular series that people are trying to master set, so Expeditions or Neos and stuff like that, I thought people would be looking for those, or Skyridge. So that leads me to the next card that sold this week, which was the Wigglytuff from Skyridge. So this is the last e-reader card that I had, and the Pidgeot and the Wigglytuff sold pretty close within each other in terms of days. So both of them sold pretty close to each other, so I didn't have the e-reader cards for that much longer. And this was an interesting artwork. It's more of a claymation artwork for Wigglytuff, but I thought this card was interesting, and any of the e-readers are interesting cards. As you notice, like the dotted lines, they're not the same for the e-reading for each card, which is very interesting there. So this Wigglytuff sold for about $11.50, and then after sales tax, transaction fees, and the shipping label fee, it came out to about $8.78. So not too bad for this Wigglytuff card. Really cool to have seen this card and partially own both the Skyridge and Expedition cards that I had. So the Jolteon, the Pidgeot, and the Wigglytuff. And it was pretty cool to have partially owned the Neos Fortress card as well, because I hadn't seen Neos in a while. So really nice to have actually partially owned these vintage cards, and now they've all gone to new homes with their new owners, and maybe they'll go towards master sets for these older collections. So anyways, the last card to sell this week was a card I wasn't sure was actually going to sell, to be quite honest. It was on my eBay page for quite a while. So it's this Celebi from X and Y. I think it's a promo card. It's a pretty cool promo card. This is one of the few moderately played cards that I actually swung on. So I got this in trades with Entropy DR, I think at the second card show, if I remember correctly. And this one I just swung on. I just figured Celebi was a cool Pokemon, but I knew it was like a little bit more beat up than I would have normally liked to get, but I figured I'd give a try to a moderately played card. And of course, it's moderately played, so it took a while for it to sell, but I'm surprised that it eventually sold, because this card had been up on my eBay page for, man, quite a while, probably at least 5 or 6 different rotations for listings on eBay. So very interesting there. But this card sold for about $2.25, and then after sales tax, transaction fees, and the shipping label fee, I made about 94 cents off this card. So luckily this card was in a trade. Not really the best return, but it was a swing at a moderately played card for this week. So overall, 6 sales this week. I'd probably say for the next few weeks, that's probably going to be the most amount of sales. The reason why I say that is because as of this video, there's only 10 cards I have listed on my eBay page, and I haven't really swung on too many cards just because I'm not really sure how long I'm going to be continuing selling cards. So I'm not really swinging as much on cards as of lately. And I've been taking my time with some of the cards I have to kind of list them up on eBay. So this probably will be one of the weeks where I'll have like 6 sales, and probably the next few weeks I might have 0 sales at the rate that it's looking at on my eBay page, with so little on my eBay page, and with cards not being super interesting and me not having that much inventory. So anyways, hope you guys like this video, and we'll see how long these selling results videos go for. So anyways, have a good one, everyone. Peace.